Hello, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
And welcome to Something's Off. We are on closing arguments day of the Kouri Richins trial. And I think we're also going to talk briefly about some Karen Reed papers.
That's right. Some papers. The papers have been filed. Yes.
All right. So we're going to join you and dive on into this. It's still, I should say the rebuttal argument is still going on.
It's more of the same.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same. But we'll be right back on the other side of a little break. If I can find the video. There it is. Well, Rebecca, did you get a chance to watch any of it today?
I watched the entire closing arguments from both sides.
Really? Good.
Yeah,
I
watched
did
the whole
too.
thing from both sides.
The rebuttal just started like maybe 10 minutes ago after a 15-minute break. And my first thought was, oh, Bloodworth, you probably should have left well enough alone. Because I thought his closing was pretty good.
It was. I mean, I always find the opportunity for the state to go last uncool. I mean, that's just the way rules. Different states have different rules. But I feel like the defense should have the right to basically be the final word in the courtroom. That's my
sit down. Yeah.
That's my process opinion. I also think that I like it when defense attorneys defer. I don't know. You can't do this everywhere, but I like it when defense attorneys defer their opening arguments until after the prosecution rests its case. I enjoy that because then it's like, then you can set your strategy during the first half of the case and then do your opening argument and then go from there. But anyway, that's not everybody thinks that's a good idea. I do though. What can I say?
So my thoughts on, actually, I don't want to, hold on. Let me just move these tabs around so I don't freeze. My initial thoughts on Bloodworth laying out the case, I thought he did a great job.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I was so worried that I was going to come on and say, I thought his closing argument was banger, and you were going to be like, what are you talking about? I'm so glad you agree.
No. I will get into my notes. Actually, before we do that, though, let's handle some housekeeping stuff because we actually do have some updates before we get into the closings. First off, thanks to everybody who became a member recently. Thanks to all the tippers. You all keep us going here, and I really appreciate it. If you're here right now, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, comment. It helps with our algorithm. We also have a new merch store and I've got promo codes.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be handing out a promo code for our YouTube members and our Patreon members. And I'm also, there's another, it's a smaller promo code, but it's going to be sort of an open, hey, here's our new store promo code for you all. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be posting it here on the YouTube and, or I'll be sending it out via YouTube and the Patreon and the Facebook group.
Amazing.
And then Rebecca, we have a couple of appearances this week. You're going to be back on Ani Deb on Wednesday, yes?
I am supposed to go back at noon on Wednesday.
So like 12:30ish.
Yeah, or 1 to finish the epic Shaun of the Gulf video rewatch. I have never seen this video. This is called No Mercy Monday. It's from October of 2023, I believe. October of 2024. And it's, I think the 28th, because I remember it was 3 days after my birthday. And it's this dude, Sean, going, no, maybe it was 25. Fuck. He's going ape shit on everybody. Yeah. He's like, everybody. There's no mercy. I'm really glad that he didn't listen to any of our shit before he. No, he's like a drunk Irish uncle in the best possible way.
I love him.
He goes ham on all the creators he hates. He goes ham on Karen. He goes ham on Turtle Boy. And he really goes ham on Kevin Lenahan, who is fair game as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, we're going to finish watching it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I only got to see a little bit of it because I was on the court. But what I did see was quite good. And I haven't seen the whole Sean. I think, is it McDonough? Is that his last name?
Sean McDonough. Sean. Yeah, I think
Sean
that's
McIrish.
Right. Shaun of the Gulf.
Sean McIrish.
He's so red. He's so red.
Well, because he's angry. He's really mad.
But you watch him, like, he'll say one thing, and then he'll all of a sudden get redder, and then he gets less red. And I guess apparently he took this video down, Jimmy has it, but, like, it's clear why he took it down, because he basically he says some things that, like, you should not say out loud. Yeah, "Cut your hair, you're a mother for
Christ's sake.
One of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes. Or when he says to Karen, "No, not even an emoji? No prayer hands?" Love that.
Or when he's like, I don't know what he was referencing, but he basically outed his own daughter.
Oh yeah, my daughter's a lesbian. I'm very supportive. I love her.
The B, the G, I don't know. Are you
He's
bi?
so
Does anyone
much
bi?
personal shit about his family. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, he says shitty things about women. He says shitty things, but he says it in such a way that, like, it's deeply entertaining. It's deep. And I was talking about how great it was, and one guy in the comments was like, "This isn't great. This is horrible." I'm like, yes. And that can also be great.
Wait, Cynthia says, did y'all hear about the 400-person meeting of the House defendants that happened this weekend?
Everybody's talking about online. I haven't seen it, but I assumed they'd be meeting this weekend after that 54-page filing from Karen Reed.
Oof. Yeah, woof.
That book, Vanity Fair story, part 2 about the entire case.
It was amazing. We'll get into it in a little bit. And then the other thing that we're doing this week, so 12 o'clock, Ani Deb, Rebecca will be back. We'll be back on Wednesday. I will probably come back on at some point because I like hanging out with Jimmy and it's a lot of fun. And then on Thursday, we're gonna be streaming here at like 9 a.m. And then we're gonna jump over to Emily C's stream to do the Friendly Wed game finally, because the last time we tried to do that, Rebecca almost passed out on camera.
I died.
And we were all very worried about her, and now she's okay. So we're going to try this again. Hopefully she doesn't pass out almost again.
I have one more thing to promote just when you're done.
Yes. Yep. No.
Okay. So I taped today. Let me look at the show with the podcast Infamous. Vanessa de Gregoriadis hosts it, and it looks like it comes out on Thursdays. I think.
Infamous.
Yes. So I think it comes out on Thursdays. Anyway, they asked me if I'd be interested in coming on because I want to do an episode about Karen Reed, and I wrote back and I was like, if you literally asked anybody else, I would be so pissed. I've been training for this for years.
Amazing. What? Say the name again.
It's called Infamous, and it's on the Binge. It's from Campside Media, and today I talked to the two hosts about the Karen Reed case for about an hour, and Vanessa went in with one opinion, and I believe came out with a different opinion because I told her things she did not know.
Did you see my mug?
Show me.
This is from our merch store.
Oh, good. I'm looking for something to send to Aiden as a housewarming gift, because I was going to send him stickers, but guess what? We are almost out of stickers, of all the stickers, almost out of all of them. So until we order new stickers, we're going to have to do merch. So I was thinking about sending him something from the merch store as a housewarming gift.
It's a little camp mug, and it has something's off on the back.
Cute.
It's only like 10 ounces. It's perfect for me because I do like an 8-ounce strong cup of coffee. It's wicked light. It's metal. This is now an ASMR channel.
Oh, when people like tick 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 thing.
I don't have nails. But anyway, you can get this on the merch store. I also have I'll allow it, which I made specifically for Amanda because she asked for it. But there's a lot of fun stuff on there.
Amazing.
What else? So you're almost out of stickers, although you told me last night you're going to be making new stickers.
I am. I have not ordered them yet because I'm still sort of vacillating on some design ideas. Okay. And I don't want to like oversticker people. I don't want to oversticker them, but I just sent out the final. So some of you, if you put your name on and you were hoping for heart stickers, you might get a package that only has the old stickers and a Crime Writers On sticker in it as a bonus. So if it's multiples of something you already have, I'm sorry. But those heart stickers they went fast.
The heart stickers were good.
Yeah, they're really, really good. I will link to that interview, Toshiba Sam, when it comes out. I will send it. Oh, Wendy, I believe you were in the batch of envelopes I just mailed, Wendy.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So if you become a member of the YouTube, go ahead and fill out our form. The link is in our main page on YouTube, but it's also in the Facebook group. If you can't find it, just post in the Facebook group and we will repost it for you.
Correct.
So put your information in there. Rebecca will send you stickers, which thank you, Rebecca. I know that's a ton of work and I really appreciate you.
Last night, Kevin was watching me fill out the envelopes and he was like, this is real analog, eh? I was like, it really is. I have a system now. I write the addresses on the envelopes, get them all right. I have a new system for doing it so I don't fuck them up. And then I put stamps on every envelope. Then I put return labels on every envelope. Then I stuffed them with stickers. So I was doing them all at once, but it was just like, it felt like it was taking forever when I was making no progress. And this way, like I see the pile get big fast, so it's a better system for me to do it. But it's very analog, this process, and I enjoy doing it. It's very.
I hope you don't get carpal tunnel.
Oh, if I was going to get that, I would have gotten it a long time ago. You know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you doing that. I know it's a lot of work, and I told you last night that it would drive me nuts, like because I would be constantly worried that I missed somebody or I sent something in the wrong place or I did, you know what I mean? Like it would cause me a lot of anxiety. So I appreciate that you're doing
I think
that.
my tolerance for making errers is higher than yours.
I think you might be.
I've been doing this a lot longer than you, and I'm super used to fucking up by now. It's high tolerance for error making.
I always feel bad when I fuck up. I always feel bad when people yell at me, and I have to probably get over that.
Oh my God. I was showing Kevin that's the thing that somebody tweeted at me.
Is it the one about the cum in the ears?
Yes.
That was awful.
No, it wasn't. It's so somebody I was tweeting about, gosh, I don't know. I think it was
Karen Reed stuff.
Oh no, it was actually about the Kouri Richins case, I think.
Oh.
And somebody was talking about how the cop was, blah blah blah, great. And I actually thought they were being sarcastic. So I was like, and he said there was a boatload of fentanyl in his stomach, and I was like, yes, it was very precise. And then he's
I remember that.
You expect him to know everything. I'm like, actually, I do, like literally. Yes. And then we kind of went back and forth, and he was like, knock the cum out of your ears, you stupid bitch. And I showed it to Kevin. I was like, look what someone just tweeted at me. And he was like, he's like, I hate that for you. This is why I'm not on Twitter anymore. I'm like, the thing is though, you get used to it and then you just don't care. And then that's that. Like, I just don't care.
But also that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Who's coming in someone's ear?
I don't know. I want to know why that was the thing he decided. I'm assuming it's a him because, men are the ones who usually make jokes about dicks in your mouths and cum in your ears. And like, they have these they have this fantasy of like the things I would do to you if you were in front of me because I hate you so much. And they usually involve like rapey shit, So I just assume it's a man. I'm sorry. I apologize for making, gender normative assumptions here. But wouldn't you think it was a man who wrote "knock the cum out of your ears, you stupid bitch" or "stupid cunt" or whatever?
Yeah, I mean that's going to be my first instinct, but I guess
you never know.
I mean, there are some people like Crusty Panties who might say something like that. Who knows?
She nasty.
Who knows?
She nasty.
She is. Okay, should we talk about Kouri Richins now? Speaking of nasty,
I would love to talk about Kouri Richins, and I'd love to talk about who actually put some time into preparing their slides and who did not for these closing arguments.
So their slides were so funny. The art one was my favorite.
Oh my God. It looked like a child made it.
Yeah, I know. They didn't need slides. I bet Rom
it was like, does this look familiar? And then it was just 5 statues of women going like this. I'm like,
it was 3 statues and
this is
just
dumbest
black.
shit I have ever seen as an exhibit.
Or the get out of jail free card. Oh man. I was like, you guys.
I'm talking about the defense by those
their
slides look like they were made like 5 minutes before the presentation and they didn't know slides were going to be allowed. So they just did them real quick during the break.
How about the one where it was like I think it almost looked like a Norman Rockwell painting of like a bunch of men like screaming at a woman sitting at a table and she was talking about the jury. But the thing is, like, she didn't even need a slide. No. I mean, maybe a couple of slides from the trial, from the like witnesses and stuff like that, but she didn't need any of those slides.
I know, but let's talk about the prosecution first. But the one thing I want to mention about her close is the thing she said at the very end, that if we did anything that upset or offended you, don't blame it on Kouri. And I'm like, okay, someone's reading the internet.
Yeah. I have that moment clipped, actually.
They don't upset or offend me in any way. But you see people in the YouTube comments, do you think that's lawyer?
Oh, people hate them.
I hate her attitude, whatever. I'm like, that's so
Yeah.
fucking weird. That's so weird. Anyway.
And I'll say it again. Everybody always gets pissed off at me when I say this. Mostly women get pissed off at me when I say this. Anytime that you are like, I don't see a lot of commentary dragging Bloodworth for his voice or like his suit choice or his accoutrement, like his jewelry if he has any on. I don't. So it's like the only way that you can tear a woman down is not the only way, but one of the main ways you tear a woman down is by picking apart her appearance.
Right.
You know, like I've heard so much fat commentary about Nestor.
Yep.
I've heard all the voice commentary about Lewis. I've heard
both of them.
They're ditzy, they're dumb, they say the stupidest things. And I'm like,
they're rude.
Yeah, they're rude. They're rude women. They're angry women, you know, and it's just like, come on, you guys. But anyway, we can talk about that when we get
to knock the come out of their ears, you bitch. That's gonna be my new slogan.
Why are you drinking a Dr. Pepper and not like a beer?
I should be.
Tell him to knock the cum out of their ears.
Knock the cum out of your ears, you bitch. It's like a line from a Dennis Lehane movie, like something that Amy Ryan would say in Gone Baby Gone. Man, she said some shit in that movie that I will not repeat.
Some shit. I love that movie. I love Dennis Lehane.
She said the N-word and one of her insults to one of her, and it was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Imagine showing up on set and being like, okay, this is my line. I guess I just need to get into character to do this.
There are certain white male directors in Hollywood that who for some reason get away with being able to use the N-word in their films.
Quentin Tarantino,
like Quentin Tarantino, yeah.
That guy's an asshole.
And he's a fucking asshole. He's also a big crybaby. But anyway, like it drives me nuts. You know, again, I hate that I'm going to say this. I'm going to get dragged for it, but a woman really would not get away with that. You know what I mean?
A woman would have a hard time getting away with that's for damn sure.
Sidestepping into the Oscars for just a moment, I am so fucking proud of Sinners.
Sinners should have won Best Picture, period.
It should have, period, because it won cinematography, music, screenwriting, and Best Actor. And it's like, that's the whole film.
It's funny. I don't like scary movies like at all.
Yeah.
And I loved.
Same with
Lindsay. Gorgeous. The movie is gorgeous to watch.
I was like, my breath was taken away for half of it. And part of the reason why my breath was taken away was not just because of Michael B. Jordan's acting. The cinematography, it was one of the first things I remember leaning over to Lindsay and being like, this is fucking stunning. And I am so glad that a woman of color won Best Cinematographer, because let me tell you, I had a lot of lady friends who were in the industry with me, and the percentage of women in the camera department was so small, or electric or grip or any of those departments, because they're just, well, I mean, this was 10, 15 years ago. They weren't welcome.
They don't get chances.
Yeah. And so the idea that a woman won for cinematography, not that, I mean, like, I don't give a shit about prizes and shit like that, but in that industry, it is one of the top honors to win an Oscar for your performance, whatever you might do. And everybody should go see Sinners if you haven't seen it. It is stunning, beautiful history. Love it.
Vampires. Oh my God.
I always forget about the vampires.
It's a vampire movie. At work today, I was pitching the fund drive this morning in my public radio station's fund drive. Make a gift to nhpr.org. And the two people I was with, my producer and my co-pitcher, both said that they saw it when it first came out and they didn't know it was a vampire movie. I'm like, I don't know how you don't know that, because it was literally in the trailer. But I was like, imagine watching it and being like, wow, this movie's really great. And then all of a sudden there are fucking vampires.
Yeah, I don't think Lindsay knew it was a vampire movie going into it. I told her it was going to be like, you know, it might be a little bit scary, but
it's scary in a tolerable way. It's not like it's not jump
scary in a funny way.
Yeah, it's not jump scares. It's not like creepy music, suspense. It's like, you know what's happening. There's no doubt about what's happening. You see the vampires do their thing. You know who's a vampire and who isn't. There's no like surprises. Like it's very tolerable. And I love the the whole thing about how the Irish vampires, like as soon as the black people in the club were turned, they started like doing the jig to like
Yeah.
all the whole thing was just like, it was so clever, so many great metaphors, so gorgeous to look at, so much
Yeah.
great acting, great final scene with some like 90s fashion. Yeah. And
Mhm.
I loved everything about it. So
Yeah, and the vampires were kind of funny, I thought, so.
yep.
They were dumb, but they were so funny. Anyway, all right, back to Kouri Richins.
By the way, this was
Judge
also a vampire story. Wasn't that even amazing? It was like all of
No.
a sudden halfway through, Bloodworth is it says there's a reason why I'm called Bloodworth.
You know that when I worked on Deadliest Catch, so the little
I always
island.
forget you on that.
I know. I actually showed Lindsay one of the first episodes of one of the seasons she's never seen it. And it is a show that we would both watch, but I don't watch it now because I did it and I hate it. But so the area that Deadliest Catch takes place is this little tiny island that's called Dutch Harbor. It's like between Alaska and Russia, basically. And this island only has like one of everything. So there's one doctor, there's maybe 2 or 3 police officers, there's one bar, one grocery store, one everything. It's tiny. You have to fly the plane that you fly into. You come in from Anchorage, and it's a little like 10-seater plane, and but they put us in lawn chairs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you sit in a lawn chair and they strap you into the lawn chair, and you have to fly in between 2 mountains that look about this far apart. And once you get in there, like I said, there's just one of everything. But you know what the biggest problem they have on the island?
What?
Vampires. Actual human vampires who live up in the mountains and who come down to the town in the night and literally like try to suck people's blood, like try to kill people and take their blood and then go back up to the mountains. It's a real thing. Vampires in Dutch Harbor are real. Look it up.
But they're not really the undead, right? They're not the undead.
No. They're just like people who want to drink human beings' blood and call themselves vampires and have like have had the teeth like dentally inserted or whatever.
One of my colleagues lives in Juneau, the host of Outside In, and he needs to do a quick turnaround story because a story he's reporting he needs to travel for and he need to postpone his travel. So like, and I'm just like, there are probably people like I love the kinds of stories they do when like they just go along with someone and like a field trip and they're like, let's spend a day doing whatever. I'm like, in Alaska, there are so many people who do things that none of us would ever even think about doing. So
yeah.
Like eating Crisco out of the can is one of the things that people in Alaska do.
That's so gross. That is so gross. Oh my God.
Not everybody, but it does happen.
But like how much at a time? Like a spoonful?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to substitute
disgusting.
for like the blubber and stuff that used to be part of the like there's like some people there's like this idea of having like a kind of like someone called me Pain Lindsay. That's very fucking funny. I don't know if they're talking to you or to me because Payne reported that story in Alaska and it was always like danger and adventure. I texted him the other day. I haven't heard from him in so long, and I text him. His partner Donald and I text, but Payne will not fucking text me back. It makes me crazy. Busy. But when I do, occasionally he'll text me out of the blue. I know. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but not texting me.
Busy.
I'm sure.
Wait, Payne was telling a story about the vampires in Alaska?
No. He always just talks about dramatic things happening to him in Alaska, like high drama. Crazy ass things
happen. Yeah, whenever I was there for the show, crazy shit happened all the fucking time. I got chased by an Inuit. Anyway, okay. Let's get into jury instructions. Judge Daddy was on top of things today. I think he felt pretty hyped for the closing arguments. I'm going to be honest with you.
Same.
There's 5 counts. I'm just going to go through the counts. I'm not going to go through all the jury instructions, but he basically was like, he explained what reasonable doubt is. He went through everything that all judges go through, but then the counts are count 1 is aggravated murder. So Kouri Richins has to have intentionally and knowingly caused the death of Eric Richens. Count 2 is attempted aggravated murder. Kouri Richins attempted to intentionally or knowingly cause the death of Eric Richens. Count 3, insurance fraud. Kouri Richins with intent to deceive or defraud intentionally devised a scheme to obtain something of value exceeding $5,000. Count 4 is insurance fraud, and count 5 is forgery. And count 5 and 3 sort of go together from what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Because she forged one of those documents that deals with the insurance fraud. So the judge reminded them they have to consider each crime separately, but they have to be unanimous on all of those crimes. Not all together. Each crime separately, they have to vote unanimously.
Yes.
A verdict on one does not determine the verdict of another.
Imagine if Bev Canoni had been so clear in her jury.
It was so clear. I was like, oh, I understand this finally. Yeah, I get this. But I don't. Let me just give Bev. Let me give her some help here. I don't think it was all Bev. I think the jury form, the verdict form in Massachusetts is fucking confusing.
No, the jury form that Bev designed for that trial was confusing. That's not what all jury forms look like in Massachusetts.
According to Bev,
she's wrong.
She's wrong.
Mr.
Unetti, you know that this is the way it is in Massachusetts.
You wrong.
Like,
you
Judge,
wrong.
No,
you wrong. All right. By the way, we clearly need to go back to Deadliest Catch at the end of this episode. People are dying for you to finish that story.
I don't know what. Okay, that's fine. Most of my stories are about being sexually assaulted or harassed by the captains of the boats. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, so prosecution goes first in closing arguments here, and I'm surprised that you were shocked that I thought Bloodworth did a good job.
Yes, because you have been dismissive of their case this whole time. Somewhat dismissive.
I'm still dismissive of their case. No, I'm still dismissive of their case. But I think that he made a very compelling, like when he laid it all out, I can see how a jury would be like, oh yeah, that all makes sense.
That's how I've been feeling this whole trial. Motive, and opportunity.
But when the defense got up, you may not like Lewis, you may not like her slides. She humanized everything, including herself, to the jury, and she pinpointed all of the reasonable doubt in this case, and that was enough for me. I am still a not guilty.
I probably have enough reasonable doubt that I would make the jury deliberations go on longer than everybody else. Yeah. I predict she's going to get convicted based on the prosecutor's closing arguments. He told a linear story. He did say a lot of incendiary things that the defense did not like, but that's so common. Like he didn't do anything I haven't heard a million times before. He did a very good job explaining that he had the burden of proof and that there was reasonable doubt. And he was basically challenging, instead of just saying things, he was challenging the jury to get over the reasonable doubt about this, and this, and this. But he said, I felt like listening to both closing arguments. Now, I don't want to sound like full of it, but I felt like both of these lawyers had watched our podcast because he said everything that I've been saying about the cogency of the case. She said everything you've been saying about why you have all this reasonable doubt. And I'm like, he literally just made every point that I've made on the show. And she made every point that Mel's made on the show. And, she said a couple of other things. And it was just like, this is incredible. But well, wait, I want to say then, if Lewis, if you are listening, I think you did a great job today. And I appreciate the humanity you brought to this. And I mean, we'll get to her in a moment, but I think she connected with the jury today. I'm not sure he did. Lewis, don't use your slides next time if you see the other sides are so much better than yours. She literally had blank white slides with Arial font, just like writing.
Again, they didn't put on a case. I think she just felt like she had to put something up on the screen. But what I will say about Bloodworth is that not only was he compelling,
compelling as he can be.
Compelling as he can be, because my first note was pretty compelling, well thought out timeline, and great use of the PowerPoint. Also, he memorized his closing. And then my next line says, I don't like Bloodworth. He has no personality. He's boring as fuck. Like I would have tuned out almost during his. It went on too long. It could have been a little bit more concise. And I just felt like I don't think he was doing himself any favors with any of the women on the jury, because he was using all of those coined phrases that make women feel small, like the Black Widow thing and her demeanor. Look, she's like cold, like she doesn't even like putting the video up on the screen. And the rebuttal to that argument from the defense was, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did one thing rhetorically that I hate. And I hate it when my producers at NHPR do this in their scripts. He did a thing where he would drop something, like he would be telling the story, and he'd say,
Yeah.
and then, and then Eric did whatever, but we're gonna talk about that in a bit. He said that
Yeah.
so many times. He would drop a fact, go back, drop a fact, go back. And I find that rhetorical like style to be so
Hmm.
frustrating, because I'm like, if you want to talk about it, just fucking talk about it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
or explain why you're not talking about it now, or just don't say it until it's time to say it. But that's the downside of memorization, is because he was always using his slides as his prompts. But like the
Yeah.
downside of that is sometimes you say something and then you remember, oh, I've got a slide about that later, so I'm going to put a pin in that. But instead of just
Hmm.
stopping talking to say, we'll talk about that later, makes me feel anxious, like this thing is going to go on forever.
Well, it felt like it did go on forever. I actually appreciated how short the defense's closing was too. And then one of the things that really bothered me, and it bothered me before we got to Lewis's close, this is the first time we have heard anything about directly about that they're saying that I didn't even know there was a lemon drop. I mean, maybe that came up before, but this is the first time the prosecution is saying, "Oh, and by the way, she put the fentanyl in the Moscow Mule or lemon drop, or perhaps there was no alcohol." Like now they're throwing that shit out there. That was new today. They
Mm.
may have been like leading up to the evidence being there, but they never really fully called it out and said this is what it is until the closing. And I was just like, what are we doing here? This is fucking weird.
I think he was anticipating that the defense was going to point out that while there was fentanyl in his bloodstream, there was no alcohol in his bloodstream, and there was
Mhm.
alcohol in the stomach only. He was trying to like get
Mhm.
ahead of that. I think that the delivery, he did a very good job. Okay, unlike Hank Brennan, Hank Brennan ended his closing in the Karen Reed case by saying something like, I'm going to paraphrase it: "We may not know exactly what happened, but we know something happened, and it was bad, and it was a murder." Okay,
And it was her fault.
and it was like, that was such weak tea to like end
Wait,
your closing on.
technically, he ended on the John Adams quote.
No, that wasn't Brennan. That was Lally.
Oh, you're talking about Brennan, I was talking about Lally,
Yeah,
sorry.
and then in this case, the prosecutor was acknowledging too that there are things we don't know.
Mhm.
But here's what I thought was compelling about the closing, and then it was clarified even more when the defense had their objections to his closing and the judge was talking to them about why things were okay and why some things weren't, is
Mhm.
that the whole idea of, if you buy a poison intending to kill somebody and then they take it and it turns out to be a different poison, it's
Mhm.
still aggravated murder. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me. It's like if you buy a gun and you shoot it and it dry fires and instead you hit the person on the head with a gun, like you
Mhm.
still meant to kill them with a gun. Like, so that was interesting. And then the other thing that's interesting is he focused on exactly what I would be focusing on if I were a juror. I think he read me right when he watched this podcast. Um, which was means, motive, and opportunity. And that's what I've been saying this whole time. And the fact that he framed his whole arguments around, that's all you need. Means, we have evidence, that's testimony, that she procured a poison.
Mhm.
Motive, she had all this shitty money stuff going on and she was
Wait,
fucking this other guy.
we don't have evidence she
No, there
procured
was
a poison.
testimony that she did, and testimony is evidence.
We don't have evidence in the testimony that she procured a poison other than oxy,
Correct. That's a poison.
but he died of fentanyl.
Correct. But he's saying there's evidence that she procured illicit street drugs.
Okay.
Okay. There's evidence that she had motive, and there's evidence that she had opportunity. As I said, she was the only adult at home with him at the time. So those were like the
Mhm.
three things that if I were a juror, the money stuff would be so hard for me to get over. And then I'd be like, yes, she was alone with him. And yes. And this is the kind of case where, just like the investigator, if you go into it thinking she's more likely guilty, those things are so hard to get over. And I think
Mhm.
he did a very good job of just being very clear about those things and being like details, schmetails, which I think as a juror, like you and I are like, we fucking need those details in order to convict.
Mhm.
But most jurors are not like that. And he knows that. And it's like
Mhm.
details, schmetails. It could have been in the lemon drop. It could have been in the whatever. but she had the means. There's evidence of it. She had the motive. There's evidence of it. And she had the opportunity. There's evidence of it. And he was just like, there's evidence of this, evidence of all three pieces of the chain. And I thought, despite his lull voice, despite his sonorous delivery, I thought he was very effective.
I think he was very effective too, and I think he knows his case inside and out. Unlike some of the other people in this case, like O'Driscoll, the lead investigator.
I still can't get over that. I can't get over that fact that some dude was fighting with me about it on Twitter. I was like, "Are you his mom?" I actually did say that.
Seriously.
Like, you must be like his brother or something, because why would anybody defend that?
No, people take this very seriously. And they get very wrapped up in it. And to me, the reason why we get wrapped up in these things and feel so passionate about it is because it either stems from something in our own lives, or we know somebody who, or one of our, like somebody died and there was always like somebody in someone's family died and there was always this like, could it have been auntie, whoever? And, so I think people get very passionate about this. I think people get extremely passionate when it's a woman who is the defendant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For some reason.
Society loves a woman defendant because she's either the worst or she's being railroaded, or she's the worst or she's being railroaded, or she's the worst. It's never just like a man can commit a murder and she's like, he had an opportunity to do it, so he did it. When a woman does it, it's like, can you fucking believe this? She's a mother. She's a mother.
She's a mother. She's a monster mother.
She's a mother, for fuck's sakes. Cut your hair. Well, you're a mother.
I mean, that's one of the things that I think, that's why one of the things that happened in Bloodworth's closing, if there were any women or mothers on the jury, he wholeheartedly offended them because of the way he talked about Kouri dealing with grief. And, he basically was like, he let Eric's sister go and take care of the kids, for Christ's sake. She's not even being a mother in this moment. She's not even worried about her kids. And I'm like,
I disagree with you on that. It offended you. It offended me. Wouldn't necessarily offend women on that jury. He knows who's on the jury. We do not.
Yeah.
And if you have got a bunch of trad wives on the jury, which you could have in Utah, I'm not trying to stereotype. I'm just saying what I know to be true. High proportion of Mormon midwives, of Mormons in Utah, and a lot of those Mormons have very traditional gender roles in their marriages, including extolling the virtues of being a very present parent, an active parent. And he would know, he knows better than us what would land with that particular jury. It would offend me, but I'm not sure it would offend other people. It could potentially, yes, but I don't think.
And what you're saying could be true if like a bunch of the women on the jury are like, if she had never gone out and started working on her own, none of this would have happened anyway. If she would have just let Eric make the money and she could have taken care of the kids,
Why'd you have to be so ambitious? He called her ambitious like 17. That was offensive. Yeah. Like the fact that he thought the word ambitious would be like a pejorative. I was like, that's fucking offensive.
That's why he said some things where I was like, this is like, there's some definite microaggressions happening here. So he started with motive. She wanted a fresh start. She was $8 million or so in debt. She had a failing business. She wanted a new life. She wanted that Midway mansion. She wanted to be living in that Midway mansion with Josh.
Farming? So he said they wanted to do farming?
Yeah. They wanted to do farming. Terrible. I think they also wanted to do some kind of like Airbnb experience where they would like live on the property, but I don't know. But
you know what I say to that?
What's that?
I'm sorry. I know people like getting their hands in the earth, in the soil. I know that.
I would like to do that.
There are some homesteaders who live around the corner from me.
Really?
They're like, legit homesteaders. They hunt all their food and hunt and grow all their food. I'm like, I love the idea of it, but they also both have jobs, and I'm like, how do you pull that shit off? Because if you're homesteading, I would imagine that would take up like 60% of your time.
I mean, I think if you have a good system, it doesn't necessarily. I used to, when I lived in Boston, like I didn't, I only like, I grew my food. I didn't eat a lot of like processed foods. It takes a little bit of extra time, but once you get to like into the habit of it, you just sort of, it becomes a part of your life. I think that's one of the reasons why people don't do it, because they convince themselves it's going to take too long out of their regular day, and they don't want that. So maybe you should think about it, Rebecca.
Last night, Kevin made chicken, and he had leftover duck fat from when he butchered the duck.
Mhm.
So he fried the potatoes in duck fat, and it was delicious.
Yummy.
And it took a really long
Yummy.
time, but it was worth it.
Duck fat is awesome. Sorry to all the vegetarians and vegans in the audience if there are any. Okay, so the weapon is what is next, and that's fentanyl via the Moscow Mule or lemon drop, apparently. And he says that the proof of this is in Kouri's orange notebook. And I'm like,
If you interpret it that way, sure.
she said that she made them a drink because that's what happened.
Right.
But
then
I'm
she
just
also
like,
changed her narrative a couple times. And,
yeah, for sure.
he did a good job saying people who lie change their story a lot. And then he pointed out all the ways she changed her story, which was.
People who tell the truth change their story sometimes too, because it's been months or years and you
Sure.
can't remember the exact time or date or whatever. The cover up, the orange notebook came back into that too. She in the notebook claimed that Eric was awake and on the phone, which was debunked by the actual cell phone data. But I'm just like, if you know you're a suspect and you're writing this all down to keep a timeline, a la Jen McCabe and Carrie Roberts, right? Because I think of the Orange Notebook as the same kind of thing.
Yeah. That was from Mrs. O'Keefe, by the way. We wanted to do it from Mrs. O'Keefe.
They weren't suspects. She's a suspect.
But she was just trying to influence Carrie Roberts into saying shit that didn't happen.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying, in this case, in Kouri's case, she's a suspect. Why would you write down the whole murder plot in a diary and leave it on your bedside table knowing the police are going to come by? She didn't do that. She was actually writing down to try to remember what had happened.
You putting thoughts in her head that you couldn't possibly know? That's what he did. You shouldn't do that.
No, I am saying that is the reasonable doubt, Rebecca.
That's fine.
You can't, because what he is saying is, here is the proof. Here is the proof. How many times did he say, here's the proof?
He said, here's the proof, but in his case, that is the proof. It's okay for his proof to not be your proof. Like that, like you can say, like, Carmen was, and I loved the way he addressed the Carmen stuff in the clips. It's so smart. He was like,
oh, I didn't like that.
No, I mean, it was smart for the audience he is talking to, which is the jury. It was smart for that. He's like, would anybody be surprised that a person who's been dealing drugs might not be forthcoming about whatever? And of course, again, if you have 8 really uptight clean, they're probably like, no, I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
But then that argument, though, then played into the defense's argument about that, I thought.
Sure. Now, you have to understand, like, a thing that I know you understand this. I'm not talking to you. Folks need to understand that, like, 90% of these jurors already know what they're going to do.
Yes.
And so if he is saying, see, there's proof here. It's like they're confirmation biasing the things that the jurors are. Jurors have confirmation bias too. Everybody does. So if they're inclined to be like, I think she did it, I have been more generous with her recently than I was at the beginning. And I am back to being less generous with her in no small part because of his closing, which I know is just me sort of like picking and choose because he's picking and choosing facts for me. But like I, at the very beginning of this, said means, motive, and opportunity. And he just did a really good job laying those 3 things out. Whether or not she should be convicted after this shit ass bullshit investigation, my opinion on that is no, but I am not on this jury. So
yeah, I think one of the things he did really well was the 911 call, where he put a live countdown on the screen with the 911 call to break down the 6 minutes or so that it took her before she started CPR.
I love this comment, by the way. I love this comment. Kouri seems real dumb. I love this comment because it speaks to when most murderers are really fucking dumb and they don't think things through. Anyway, keep going. I'm sorry.
I don't know if she's dumb or not. I think if she did do this, she did think a lot of things through, but then it's like, then she sat down and not only did she write in a diary the whole thing, the whole night that happened, but then she also wrote the walk the dog letter. And again, I don't know why this wasn't handled in either of the closings, but I think it's because the investigators didn't actually verify. They automatically assumed the letter was a lie. So they didn't bother to verify, which means it can't really be used as evidence, except for by the prosecution who's going to twist it and spin it. Because my whole thing again was with the walk the dog letter. I've said this a million times. If they were able to verify, which some of it was verified in testimony, so that is evidence that Eric did put drugs in her suitcase. Eric did talk to her brother about drugs. Eric did go to Mexico and get drugs. If all of that stuff in that letter, like my point again is, if she's so dumb to have sat down and wrote out exactly what happened that night, plus the walk the dog letter, plus everything she said on the jailhouse calls, knowing that they were recorded, like, I don't know.
Mel, I hate to disagree with you so hard. She's just
okay.
she's just Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe would have done all these same fucking things and did do all these same things. Do you think Jen McCabe is complicit in the cover-up of the murder of John O'Keefe? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Everything Jen McCabe did has another reasonable explanation. Everything.
Give me an example, and I'll.
Jen McCabe made a timeline. The other reasonable explanation is they really did want to remember the details so that they could tell Mrs. O'Keefe a more complete story. That's reasonable.
Sure. I don't think there's anything wrong with making a time, but here's my point. Oh, I don't think.
Well,
there's
in the
anything wrong
context
with
of the case, when we also know that we are told that she's trying to influence Carrie Roberts to embed stories in her, then her making the timeline look sus as fuck. Okay, so there's two ways to look at everything. Okay. Jen McCabe called her sister and the call was picked up at 5-something a.m. and then the call was deleted. So they admitted, the defense admitted in their closing today that Kouri did some stupid fucking bullshit things that she shouldn't have done. So Jen McCabe could have called her sister and been like, you're never going to fucking believe who's on their way over to my house right now. Karen, she says she can't find John. Okay, go back to sleep. Boom. And then as she's going through her phone to look at the things that will just make it confusing for people, she decides to delete what will make it quote confusing. Like, I could see Jen McCabe saying that, and if she absolutely was being railroaded, it would be like, all right, that actually sort of makes a weird kind of sense. Kouri Richins could be, I'm not saying is, Kouri Richins, everything she did that the prosecution painted as being sus and the defense painted as being another reasonable explanation, a lot of it was Jen McCabe shit, trying to control the narrative, try to get people to say, according to the prosecution, trying to get people to say what you want them to say, control the narrative, write things down so that it will look a certain way. Like, it's very McCabean in my opinion.
Agreed. But only one of those people is on trial for murder.
Right. Yeah. And because she's dumb. Murderers are. I think she likely did it, and I don't think she's bright. I mean, most murderers are really fucking dumb and do not do a good job covering.
Here's the thing. And I will say this again. I said this to Ellen the other night when she was recording the rundown, and I called in because she asked me to. I don't necessarily think she's innocent, but I do believe that they have to prove to me that she is guilty.
Oh, sure. Of course they do. I'm not discounting that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Ashley. Like, the fact, I mean, like, as soon as I heard her on the phone being like, she doesn't believe in COVID and vaccines, I was like, oh my God. She's a dumbass.
She knows
but
better.
I still believe she has rights. So anyway, so the 911 call went well. I thought playing it with the countdown clock was really interesting. And he brought up that she dehumanized Eric by referring to him as it, which I think is sometimes in language in those situations. Jen McCabe did it too. She referred to John O'Keefe as it.
Thank you for pointing that out. I was just about to do that.
She did that. And not only that, she was in that call, Jen McCabe, with 911, she was distancing herself from John. So like when, I don't remember the exact words, I'm paraphrasing, so please don't, bite my head off. But when they were like, well, do you know him or whatever? And they asked specifically who he is. And she said, she bounced off of that and was like, oh, that's his girlfriend, Karen. That's his girlfriend. His name is John O'Keefe. That was the answer. That's his girlfriend. His name is John O'Keefe. So she was like trying to distance herself. There's a lot of language issues in that 911 call. I think D-Cool says, I think idiots should have rights the most. They usually aren't helping themselves. Exactly. Yes. Golf clap. Thank you.
The idiot Bill of Rights.
Exactly. Well,
otherwise known as the Bill of Rights.
The other thing is that we don't, like, lay people don't really know the law and how like investigations work and how the theory of a case and the theory of a suspect is developed and how you can get caught up in that and you might have done it, but you still, if our constitutional rights go away, then the law goes away in this country, and they can just sweep anybody up off the street. So it's not about Kouri Richins to me being guilty or innocent or not guilty. To me, it's about, if they get away with it here, then, I mean, we already know they're getting away with it within marginalized communities with people who have less money and people of color and LGBTQ. If we allow them to get away with it here, we are setting the example that they can get away with it again, and they can do it against weaker people.
You mean sloppy investigation and bad case, getting away with that?
Yes.
Because I don't think I think these people think she did it. I honestly, I get.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unlike in the Karen Reed case, where I don't believe everybody thought she did it. I think that they learned eventually that she didn't, but they had to stick to their guns. Yeah. I think these investigators really think she did it.
Yes.
And they are just.
But in the same way that they thought Karen Reed did it.
Some of them did and some of them didn't think Karen Reed did it, in my opinion. I mean, keep in mind, Lally saw the whole fucking federal file. He saw all of it.
Fucking Lally.
So the thing that...
Smoke another one, Lally.
So the other reason I think that the lawyers watched our podcast, because of course they did, because who doesn't watch our podcast?
Of course they did, yeah.
Is when defense attorney, what's her name, Lewis, was talking, saying... He was the lead investigator in the case, and he was so unprepared. I was like, yes, dummy, unprepared. And then, and then she said, and he was sitting in court the whole time. And then he couldn't even remember things he heard in court.
Pool camera panned to him, and he looked like he wanted to fucking like clothesline. He wanted to get up there, run, and I have a clip of it. I'll show it in a second. But
I want to see clips.
Yeah, I have a couple of clips I want to play there mostly from the defense, because I was like, what they kept doing during the defense is the pool camera would pan to the audience, and they would show Amy and Katie and Cody and the forensic accountant and O'Driscoll, and they were all just pissed.
It's like a TV show.
Yeah.
Can I say something inappropriate?
Absolutely.
I am very sorry, America and women everywhere, from what I'm about to say.
Oh, shit.
Who the fuck is picking out Kouri Richins' court clothes?
Yeah, probably her mom. Someone said she looked like she was wearing the prison shower curtain to court today.
It's just like she's wearing nurse's scrubs that were cut up and turned into a blouse. And then the other day she had that blazer that is the kind of blazer with the arms that are like this all the time permanently. And then she was wearing the yellow shirt underneath it. It went all the way down. It was too long for her hands. I'm like, who is her stylist? I don't like it. Granted, I know that she's on trial for murder, and that does not matter. However, she's also on camera.
Okay, but there's the converse of that as well.
Of course.
Because the other side of that was, here we go.
If she dresses too well, then that's also a problem. Yeah.
Take a drink, everybody, because Pamela Smart's mom wanted her like dressed up, made up, hair done, looking like giant professional and feminine and happy and blah, blah. And she went into court like that, and all they did was drag her because she looked like that. So
did Karen. Karen got dragged. Karen Reed got dragged.
She still gets dragged.
Veronica Beard suits, and which I recognize because I seen them in Saks. And great shoes and expensive sunglasses. She gets dragged for that all the time. It's like women getting dragged. And that's why I know what I just said was so inappropriate. But somebody had to say it, and if it's going to be one of us, know it's going to be me.
You're canceled, Rebecca. Get out of here. I'm just kidding.
It's 2020 all over again. Cancel everybody.
Okay, shall we? Okay, so there was some pretty crazy shit that happened in between the prosecution's closing and the judge's ruling. This is the one I don't have video for, and I wish I did, because it was just like I think Ian Runkle on Twitter was like, so Nestor just stood up and read off her like Starbucks list of the reasons why she was asking for a mistrial.
The only one I agreed with wholeheartedly was him. No, not the narcissist one, because he didn't say he said narcissistic injury.
But you know what that does? That's him semantics.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
What I disagree with wholeheartedly, I completely agreed with her that him saying it didn't have to be fentanyl, that kind of stuff. It could be any kind of street drug.
Yep.
Later, he did clarify, so I knew what he meant, but that was the first thing he said, and that stuck out to me. And even the judge said, yeah, that stuck out to me too.
Yeah. A couple of them stuck out to me, and when it happened in the moment, I thought, "You can't do that."
You can.
I
You can
know,
do
but
almost
it doesn't.
anything in a closing
Okay,
argument.
listen. Okay, so the things that she brought up, the Black Widow comment. So and they had to talk about this because the judge was a little perplexed as well. Where did this comment come from? And I did think this was a little bit unfair because he's comparing her to a Black Widow. His argument about it, his argument for it, was saying that Chelsea brought it up. Chelsea, her best friend from middle school, brought it up in a phone conversation that the jury never heard, right? The judge eventually was like, I mean, people get called Black Widow.
It's an idiom. Yeah. Yeah.
Argued the label was improper and designed to dehumanize her, is what Nestor said. And the judge was just like, meh, he kind of shrugged it off. The one that got me, the one that there were two of them that really stuck out to me. So Nestor was very upset, and I think with good reason, and said that her Fifth Amendment was violated. Shauna says, I could never wear a blazer for fear Rebecca would know I'm doing it wrong. Well, ask Rebecca about her fancy coat that she wore to the airport.
Just get it tailored. That's all you got to do.
And then got toilet paper stuck on her shoe, and she thought everybody was so excited
it
about
was
her
in
jacket,
my pants. It was in my pants, hanging down my non-ass.
Yeah. Yeah. And you thought that lady was coming up to you to be like, oh my God, I love your jacket.
I did.
I love it.
I wore that the other night. I got so many compliments. And every time I did, I had to look
hanging out of your pants.
I know.
Okay. Demeanor. Nestor argues this violated her Fifth Amendment. She pushed back hard, telling the jury to observe her courtroom demeanor, especially calling her reaction to financials a narcissistic injury. And she argued that it's an unconstitutional backdoor attack on her right to remain silent. I don't agree with Nestor's argument. However, I agree as a layperson, and this would have swayed me as a juror. I think if I were on this jury, this would have swayed me because we talk about this all the time. You can't say this is how everyone grieves. You can't say this is how everyone reacts to this. You know what I mean? So looking at demeanor evidence or whatever, I think to me, it felt like he was grasping at straws because he doesn't have any evidence. And then the other one was wild speculation. I also agreed on this one. Nestor argued that the state basically was inventing Kouri's internal thoughts out of whole cloth. I kind of agree with that. I mean, he's allowed to do it, but I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm glad she brought these things up to the judge. It didn't happen in front of the jury, obviously, but our judge daddy wanted to take like a 5-10 minute break.
I love when he does that. Because he's going to go read something. It's so hot.
Not only is he going to go read something, he writes something and brings it back with him.
That's hot.
So great. So great.
It gets me so tingly. Not going to lie.
Okay. Ooh, okay. I'm going to cancel you again. Stop talking about being tingly. Grody. Okay.
One thing that I wanted to say about Nestor's style.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, have you seen the pictures of Nestor next to the guy accused of shooting Charlie Kirk, like in court this week? So she is like literally simultaneously at like preparing for that trial.
Oh yeah.
What's weird to me about Nestor, not weird, but what's unusual about Nestor that I'm not sure the judge likes, is that she's so informal with her asks and presentation. So when she gets up, she just sort of has her list and she rumbles. She sounds like she's a podcaster talking about the stuff she thought was wrong. She sounds like dumb like us. Like, here are the things I think were wrong. It wasn't cool when he did this and he talked about her face. It wasn't this, but she's not citing any case law. She's not
and that's what the judge gets pissed off about too.
Because he wants to hear what the case law, because he's a very literal judge. I have a feeling that he likes to talk about dinosaurs and trains as well. Like, he's a very precise kind of person. Like, he loves machinery, I think. I bet he's a tinkerer. I bet he's that kind of guy.
You've been thinking about him a lot, huh?
I am ascribing thoughts to his head that he has not ascribed to himself, and that is probably wrong. But he likes. She is not responsive to the courtroom he is running, and I find that strange considering that they were trying to put on a vigorous defense for this person. I appreciate when she doesn't back down on an argument. I appreciate when she pushes back, when she thinks I appreciate all of that. But his courtroom is square as hell. And she keeps going around over and over and over again. And I don't think he likes that.
And I think what I was reading between the lines today too, a couple of things. I think she's used to working federal cases. And she kind of used that today, her experience in federal court, to try to diminish the proceedings a little bit. Did you catch that? Where she was like, oh, well, this is the way it's done in federal court. You know what I mean? Like, sort of like, well.
That's how it works in my BMW. Sorry.
That's how it works in federal court. So I don't know. I'll be there next week as soon as I'm done with this little piddly case. And the other thing is, one of the things I do appreciate about her, I agree with you that her demeanor, and they both are like
her lack
that.
of formality. Her lack of formality.
Yeah. Lewis is like that too. They're both really, they're just like, I object. And then he's like, on what? And they're like, everything.
That's exactly. Exactly. And it's kind of like, it's the way that Alan Jackson didn't do a great job adapting to Bev's style. And he just kept pissing her off. And then eventually he didn't care. So he was just doing it even harder. And Yannetti did adapt to Bev's style. She hated both of them for different degrees. But there is a thing where, like, read the room, people, read his room. So, I'd like to read his room.
Oh, I bet you would.
So I'm sorry, I'm being really inappropriate.
No, you're not. Are you kidding me? Look at what our show is. This is what we do here. We're inappropriate. One of the things I do appreciate about them, no matter their demeanor, no matter how they make their arguments, they will not let an argument go, to the point where I think some other attorneys may have let the argument go and the judge would have moved on from it. But because they fight so hard and they bring up relevant, pretty good points, sometimes it forced this judge specifically, because he is so cerebral.
Oh, cerebral.
Yes. Well, yeah. So he is so cerebral that he's like, okay, wait a minute. I think I do need to take 5 minutes with this, after a half an hour of the same argument over and over and over again. And then finally he goes, oh, maybe I should look at this. So I think a lot of other attorneys would have given up based on what the judge was saying to them. And these two women are just like, fuck it. I'm just going to go for it again.
They know he'll look it up. They know he'll look it up. He's just not, what I like about him, and I don't want to say it's an unusual quality in a powerful man, except it is an unusual quality in a powerful man, is that he knows what he doesn't know. He acknowledges it. And he's like, let me go look it up. Fucking love that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. He doesn't, like, sometimes we see male and female judges and their ego gets the best of them. Bev's ego, like, tarnished this case so much. And I think the woman, the Neiman, whatever her name was in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case, the first judge, her ego and whatever else she was doing on the side fucked that case up in the beginning.
What was she doing on the side, Mel?
She was talking to the probation officer when she shouldn't have been.
I was just implying you were going to say something more personal. I knew you weren't.
Oh, no. You're the one who's got a saucy mind today.
By the way, Nate 47 here, you know where he is right now? He's on an airplane flying to Singapore, and he's watching our stupid fucking podcast.
Oh, we love you, Nate. Thank you, buddy. Nate says, demeanor is the worst. If I ever go on trial, I'm dead because of my demeanor. Same. Brother. Same.
I have no poker face. None.
Oh, shit. My resting bitch face is like top class. So.
I can't not react. I can't. Something happens. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Okay. So obviously the judge, his ruling was the mistrial was denied, but he did give them one concession. And I thought this was, again, so well thought out. And I like what he did here, but he basically gave the jury an instruction that they have to make up their own observations about the demeanor of the defendant. They can't take any of the attorney's word for what they think her demeanor is. Basically, they have to make up their own mind about what her demeanor is. Yeah, this is also a good point. D. Cools, the OJ judge was the same, right? Yep, Judge Ito, kind of taking the popularity of the case to better himself.
Oh, Judge Ito was straight up corrupted by the television. People were sending him gifts, and he was displaying them on his stupid podium.
And his wife. And just like it was such a mess. But yeah, Judge Ito was a mess. He should never have been the judge on that trial.
By the way, the jury's out.
Ooh.
They sent a note already.
Oh shit. What was the
No,
note?
no. So basically, the jury's deliberating, but they went back on the record, and the judge says as the jurors walked out, the bailiff received a note from juror number 2 saying they thought the jurors were supposed to receive a hard copy containing a factual stipulation. Judge asks the attorneys how they want to proceed. Now
Wow.
they're speaking off the record again, but the stipulation
Okay.
of fact is being included with documents being sent back to the juror. So they're still talking it out, but the jury has the case in the Kouri Richins case. You think they're going to come
Wow,
back tomorrow? I do.
Yeah, I do too. And I think that that was a smart question. So that gives me hope that the jury might be smart. Shauna says, does anyone else think the judge looks like Chris Watts? He does a little bit. He does. He reminds me
Don't
of someone
ruin
else.
him for me.
I know. He reminds me of somebody else that is not Chris Watts like, and I can't think of who it is. I will remember who it is though. Everyone, please take a minute to like the video.
6 men and 2 women are deliberating jurors. His process. Listen to how anti-Canoni he is. He's the anti-Canoni. His process is to check with the jury around 4:30, asking them what they want to do. They're allowed to retire and come back tomorrow, or if they want to stay late and keep working, he lets them stay late and keep working.
I love that. I love that. Well, he doesn't need to get to the Cape.
Chris Watts. I don't like that. Don't ruin him for me.
I know. So right now, let's see, we're Eastern time. It's just past 5:30, so it's 3:30 there. So they have a few more hours. Can you imagine if they come back? So we're on verdict watch. Can you imagine if they came back with a verdict? I mean, when I hear, what did you say, 5 men and 3 women, or 6 men and 2 women? When I hear that, I think it's probably going to be a guilty, because those men are going to be like, that nasty money grubbing bitch, blah, blah, blah.
Imagine if someone took out a $250,000 HELOC on my house and I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
hold on, I'm looking at pictures of Chris Watts. I can't believe people are ruining this shit for me.
He does look like Chris Watts, but if
he does, I don't like it.
He also, you know who here, this will help you. You know who else I think he looks like?
Who?
Noah Wiley.
You mean this guy?
The Pit. Yeah, that guy, the Pit.
Kevin does an incredible Noah Wiley impression.
What was he? Party of 5? Is that what it was?
No, he was in ER.
No,
Scott Wolf was in Party of 5.
Before what was Noah Wiley? He was like a child actor.
ER. He was not on Party of 5. I watched every fucking episode of Party of 5.
I bet you did.
I did. I remember when the theme song was Climb On, A Back That's Strong by Sean Colvin for one season. And then they stopped using that theme song, and I was really upset because I really liked that song.
I bet you like Sean Colvin. Did you really like Sean Colvin?
I did like Sean Colvin, yeah.
What was that song?
Sonny Came Home.
Sonny Came
Home. That was
Home.
not the best Sean Colvin song.
That's true. But that's the one that made her famous. Okay. Defense. Closing. We're going to be on verdict watch. Rebecca, will you let me know? Will you keep an eye on that? And I will. Let me just make sure I have the feed up.
Pull up the East Idaho feed for now. And then we are going to be more diligent about getting the real Zooms for trials.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, let me just make sure that I have. Verdict clock is at 44 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay.
I love that. Verdict clock. I know this is not a game. I know it's not a game show. But the bottom line is, let's be honest, we're very invested in this case. We've been following it. We want to know how the story is going to end. That's that's how it works.
I mean, I think even if she gets convicted, there's going to be an immediate appeal. I mean, and by immediate, I mean as quickly as appeals can be filed. And I think that they were making a very strong record the whole time. So, okay. My initial thoughts, Lewis is coughing a lot. Her voice is grating.
Poor Lewis.
I know. But then she got it.
Have a fucking lozenge, lady.
Have a lozenge. Have a Ricola. Jesus. But she got it back. Like after she was going for a little bit, I think that she was actually in her element. She seemed the least nervous that I had seen her throughout the whole trial in the closing. I'll be honest with you. Although there's one weird thing about her, and I don't think it's a nerves thing. I'm not really sure what it is, but have you ever noticed how much her hands shake?
Oh, does she have a tremble?
Lewis? Big tremble. And the worst part is she was like, while she was doing her closing, she was holding her glasses and they were going like this the whole time. And I was like, the jury can see that, lady. The jury can see your glasses shaking like that. But anyway, right off the top, she goes heavy into explaining the weight of reasonable doubt, which I thought was a good thing. And she says, you know, the DA is asking you to judge how Kouri grieved. This was such a good thing. She started this off by humanizing Kouri, humanizing herself, and the only problem I see is knowing 6 men are on the jury. So for the 2 women on the jury, I think that Lewis probably spoke to them. Because basically she was like, she brings up that she experienced losing her own sons.
I thought you said husband.
Sorry. And she was talking about her taking care of her sons. Sorry.
Yeah.
She experienced losing her own husband, and she basically says, according to the prosecution, I didn't grieve properly. I was like, boom. That is such a good way to like bring it home to the women on the jury. I didn't grieve properly. I wasn't acting like a woman should in this situation. And I thought that was pretty powerful.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this.
Oh, you're freezing. He does. He looks a little bit like.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
Okay, but pull up a picture of Noah Wyle in glasses.
No.
I think it's a better representation.
He's much cuter than both of those men.
I mean, Chris Watts was a very handsome guy, I thought.
I can't look past the stuffing the whole family down the well situation.
I can't either, but like if I didn't know that about him and I just saw him, I would think he was a very attractive guy.
Yeah, it's true. He's not bad.
There was my first note about the slides was weird slide, 3 stone figures of women grieving in art.
Oh my God. When I saw these slides, I felt like that they had like one of them had like a 12-year-old niece. And it was like, do you want to help us? Okay, so we need some slides, and here's what I bet it was
Ramos.
That whole thing with the statues was the stupidest shit. Do you have that? Can we look at that?
I'm looking for it.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, that was one of them. It wasn't the only one, though. I was like, this is not going to help you guys. I'm really sorry. Who told you to do this? This isn't a great thing. I don't know. I will have to look for it. We will post them on our Facebook page or something. Yeah, I was like, oh, that wasn't great, you guys. But I don't think, I mean, the thing is, what do they have to put up? They wanted something to be interactive. It could have been better, obviously.
You know what? They should have had an effect. Like had the statues swipe in. Or appear, the appearing. Or the one where it goes like this.
An effect, don't put like ancient stones, like sculptures of women, like, because you're expecting the jury to have some kind of like idea about art. Show actual pictures of women grieving in the way that your client is grieving. You know what I mean? I mean, that'd be fine. But they didn't do that. Her voice started clearing up, so I thought that was a good thing.
You were like, thank God.
She must have had a lozenge. I didn't think she was going to be strong. And honestly, I thought when they were working out the jury instructions, when it was just Nestor in the courtroom with the DAs with the judge, and Lewis and Ramos were back at the office, I really thought they were going to try to pull a fast one. I thought Nestor was going to jump in at the last minute and do the closing. I think that this choice was much better.
Well, Nestor right now is preparing her opening for the Charlie Kirk shooter case.
I know. But I was like, I'm starting to like Lewis. I didn't really like her before. She was the one I didn't like. She was like the one I liked the least. I didn't think she was going to be strong, but I thought she was doing pretty well. She started really hitting the DA's speculation in their case really hard.
Yes.
And if I had to title her closing argument, I would call it confirmation bias. She hit home confirmation bias throughout this whole thing. And that's a big, like, for me, that would have been a trigger word for me, like in a good way. I would have been like, yep, confirmation bias comes up. She defines it for the jury. And then she says, quote, that is how this entire case was investigated.
She did a really good job talking about the fact that they used that investigator to lead the police around. That was really cool. That was very effective.
Yes. Okay. And effective. When she started saying that, you should have seen O'Driscoll's face. Lewis, case one says, this is perfect. Lewis reminds me of Deputy Dog. Totally true. The haircut, everything. The voice, everything.
A little bit. Yeah. I'm going to look up Deputy Dog. I'm going to see some comparison.
Shauna says, Rebecca, I didn't mean to ruin it for you about Chris Watts.
I'm assuming she's talking about her ruining the judge's hotness for me. You didn't ruin it,
Yes.
Shauna. I'm still horny for the judge.
Lewis brings up again in front of the jury that as soon as Woody, the first lead detective, got there, that Amy met her out in the driveway and told her that this is probably Kouri. And at that point, anytime that night, this was a really good point. So I'm going to tell you this right now. I am a half a page into my notes, and as a jury member, already reasonable doubt. Like, I'm done. This is like, she's already proven it to me. Go ahead and put your thing on the screen. Yeah, she looks like Deputy Dog. It's the haircut and the glasses.
Yeah. It's very good.
So the police at any time that night, I know everyone's like, well, like, because when I was like, well, why didn't Woody search the house? Blah, blah, blah. It's the same kind of reasonable doubt that Michael Proctor had to search the house at 34 Fairview, that they had to search the house here, and they should have done it. And they didn't need to get a warrant for it because she was already telling them they could search the house. They never asked her to search the house.
Yes, but they searched it 10 times.
Yeah, they got 10 search warrants up till 2 months ago. They still had a search. They got another search warrant 2 months ago.
No, last month. She said February of 2026. That's last month.
Oh, was it February? Oh, she said 2 months ago. Oh, anyway. So they didn't do it, nor did they ask. The only places they searched were in the bedroom and in the bathroom, and that was it.
Yep.
So that's on them. They could have found the Moscow Mule glasses. They could have found the lemon drop shots. They could have found the gummies that were above the refrigerator and above the laundry, like in the laundry cabinet up high. They could have found a lot of other things, and they didn't.
Where the fuck is that pill bottle? That's what I
Yeah, right. And there's I actually, that was their strongest slide as far as I'm concerned. What are you showing a picture of?
Look at this dummy.
Wait, you just wait. I have some shots of him. I got it. So she also flipped the DA's point that Kouri kept telling everyone no when asked if, so the prosecution tried to use it against Kouri, that Kouri was answering no, is Eric a drug user? And she kept telling everyone no. And the prosecution was saying that was bad for her. I couldn't understand that when he was saying it. And then Lewis was like, we wouldn't be here if Kouri had just said, yes, he's a drug user.
Yeah, we would. Because then they would have said, she said that. Yes, that we would. Because then they would have said,
no,
she
Rebecca.
said that. Yes, Mel. Because then they would have said that she said that to throw suspicion on him being a drug user. She can't win this. I have one problem with Kouri that proves she's dumb.
Hold on. Let me just say one hypothetical before you say that.
All right.
Okay, no, you say your point because mine's longer. Go ahead.
Kouri Richins said there was vodka and rum in a Moscow Mule. That's a fucking dark and stormy, my friend. Rum and ginger beer.
How about that moment when Bloodworth was like, she forgot the one ingredient in the Moscow Mule, and I was going to say fentanyl, and he said ginger beer.
And then the cock and bowl. Is that a brand of ginger beer?
I'm like,
stop saying cock and balls.
Why do you keep saying cock and balls?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Christ.
I don't like it any more than comparing the judge to Chris Watts. Stop doing it.
Listen, if she had said in that moment, hey, is your husband a regular drug user? And she had said, yeah, he kind of dabbles in pain pills every once in a while. I know he was trying to get some fentanyl, and he does THC gummies. They would have searched every square inch of that house in that moment.
No, they wouldn't have.
I think they would have.
You know why they wouldn't have? Because they're bad investigators. We cannot assume that having more information would have made these cops act any less dumb. Woody and I'm sorry, I know O'Driscoll joined later. He's like a log. Dude is a log.
And Woody was like 1 foot out the door. She's like, they got my dog ready. I'm going to be a canine there. She was out the door. All right. So
I agree with this person.
What?
TBF, I would also say my husband wasn't a drug user if a policeman asked. I completely fucking agree with this. Because it would just be your instinct to have somebody be in their best light.
My point, but that's fine. I would say the same thing too. However, I think that Lewis made a good point in being like, if she had said yes, we wouldn't be here right now. Eric would be dead. And
yes, but she's not smart enough to.
Oh, you froze. You froze. All right. Until Rebecca comes back. I don't know why you're frozen, Rebecca. Did you try to click on a tab? Don't click on tabs. Okay, so the next part is, this is when Lewis like goes in hard on the PI, and she just picks apart everything that I'm gonna take Rebecca out for a second. Oh, there she is. Oh, look at you. I have two of you up.
How did that
Hold
happen?
on. I don't know.
There we go. If that
Was
happens,
that weird seeing yourself like that?
it was no. That happens to me in Zoom all the time. I join
Oh,
in my phone so I can see whatever I want to see, and then I also join my mic. There's two of me.
got it.
Mm.
All right. So I was moving on to, she starts picking apart all the PI stuff. So he didn't wear any gloves every time he was at the house searching. Every time he found something, he called the cops. He was often left there alone, even though he said he wasn't. Did he do any follow-up? So this I thought was pretty strong, because they are basically, Lewis was making the point, not only did the private investigator have tunnel vision and confirmation bias, but so did the investigators with the police department have tunnel vision and confirmation bias, because no one followed up on Eric's trip to Mexico. One of the good slides she put up was a breakdown of the text messages going back and forth. Not the other one, not the.
I swear to fucking God, I thought she was going to put a picture of Speedy Gonzalez when she. I was like, these slides are so bad.
Not only, like, the night he passed away, he was going back and forth in text talking to one of his buddies about going to Nogales, and like, to go into Mexico. Hey, did you get this? Did you blah, 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 blah. Nothing really incriminating, but don't you think that, like, as private investigators and lead investigators, they would have followed up on Mexico if the prosecution and the investigators on the Karen Reed trial went all the way the fuck into Aruba to figure out if John actually kissed that woman and what happened there? They can't go track and see what happened with Eric when he was in Mexico. I mean, they should have done that. So I thought that was a good point. She said nothing about the investigation was unbiased. She brought up that the PI also tipped the cops off that Carmen would be an easy flip because she was in trouble with drug court. And then she went into, and this is where I was like, okay, maybe I should go become a defense lawyer, because I'm really starting to identify with these defense attorneys. She said, there's a reason we have rights under the Constitution, and it's to protect the citizen/innocent. And Eric Richens' family sidestepped these rights by hiring a PI who isn't under constitutional control. And then, so he went digging through Kouri's life and Kouri's family's life and took everything he learned and handed it over to the police, and the police didn't have to do anything. And they also didn't have to worry about impeding on Kouri's constitutional rights.
Right.
And while she was saying this,
this was on the screen.
No, that's not true, Rebecca.
She was like, Mexico?
No.
They didn't go to Mexico.
Nope. While she was saying this, oh man, where'd it go? While she was saying this was on the screen. Look at his face. Look at her face. And then right behind him, you can't see it right now, but the forensic accountant, I have another shot. Let me see if I can pull it up. So this is O'Driscoll basically like wanting to body slam Lewis. And wait, get rid of that.
When Jason Kelsey got famous, he felt so lucky.
Oh, yeah.
He thought he was going to get so many women. And then the women started talking to him. And immediately was like, nope.
So then also a little bit later on, so this is the forensic accountant, the woman right behind. This is O'Driscoll being like contemplating his life and being like, what have I done? What am I doing here? And this is the forensic accountant being like, you're an asshole. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
It's so interesting that the whole band got back together to come to the closing arguments.
Everybody was there. Everyone was there.
So weird. It's so that's what happens on Law and Order.
But
like on
that
SVU,
again,
like all the characters from the whole show come to the closing arguments.
If I'm on the jury and I'm looking out at the audience in the court and I'm seeing all those people, and also Lewis like points it out. She's like, look, he's right there. He's been sitting here for the whole thing. When I look out and I see that, I'm like, that's their confirmation bias. Like they want her to be found guilty. So anyway, I appreciated her little insert about constitutional rights. One of the weaker parts, besides the weird slides, was she just kind of like blipped right past the walk the dog letter. Just said it was thoughts on paper, moved along.
Yeah. And then she send it.
No. And then she started really tearing down O'Driscoll. Didn't thoroughly investigate, especially Mexico. There were 90 to 120 pills of something, at least oxy. None of those pills were found. I saw a lot of people on our Facebook group being like, well, in those 15 minutes between when she found Eric dead and when she called the 911, she probably just dumped all the pills down the toilet. And I thought, wouldn't she have done that beforehand? Like, why would she wait?
That's
to
true.
do that?
Why would she wait
Like,
to do that? That's a good point.
I don't know. And so there's no fentanyl in the house, no oxy in Eric's stomach. After 4 years, there was an awful lot he couldn't tell you or couldn't remember. That's O'Driscoll. And that's when I was like, the court cams cut to a snarly sneer on O'Driscoll's face.
I love that.
He sat through all the testimony. He could have reformed his answers, but he still didn't know the case by the time he got on the stand. She's right. He sat there through all those testimonies. And that's what witnesses aren't normally allowed to do. But the fact that he could have been like, well, here's the reason why I did this. Here's the reason. Like, he could have thought about what he needed to say, and he didn't.
He didn't.
Because
he was unprepared, which I was very thrilled that they pointed out. And if he was unprepared for the trial, imagine how unprepared he was to be a cop investigating this case.
Yeah, his first murder case. Again, no evidence of fentanyl in the drink. They waited until the closing to tell you that they think the fentanyl was in the drink. And then I also noticed that, what's his name? Bloodworth did this weird thing where he said, I mean, if there was any alcohol, I mean, I know they did it because of the toxicology report, but now you're trying to say it wasn't a Moscow Mule. Now you're trying to say what she wrote down in her diary wasn't there. It might have just been lemonade. I'm like, this is grasping at straws. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts? I'm going to take a break from breaking this down because I have a lot of notes.
Lewis was like, you know what we need? We need Dorothy's floor.
Oh my God. This is what you're doing. You're just like off Googling while I am sitting here.
Mexican cartoons that should have been on this stupid fucking slideshow. Do you have,
oh my God.
Can you pull up the stream so you can show people who didn't watch how horrible her slideshow was? I can do it if you want.
Yeah. Will you find it? Because I have to go find it.
Are you 100%? Yeah. We'll take
Can you go find it? Okay. I'll keep doing this then. Let's see. Kouri Richins deleted text. Why would you delete it? Maybe because you're having an affair. Maybe because you bought pain pills from Carmen. That was a good reasons. And then the searches, which I thought I was like, how are they going to deal with these searches? She said, Kouri Richins got the new phone, I think the day she found out Eric died of fentanyl overdose from the medical examiner. Of course, she Googled these things about fentanyl and overdosing and poisoning because she literally that same day, because she did these Google searches on her new phone.
Yes.
Of course, she Googled those things on that same day because she had just found out her husband died of that. She was terrified. She realized she was the lead suspect, which is why she started Googling, like fancy women's prisons in Utah.
Yes. I want to go to the good one.
I want to go to the good one. Okay. And then she's like, well, what did we know about the last few hours of Eric's death? This I found incredibly interesting. And I will again go back to the toxicology report because I think is another one of those reasonable doubt areas for me. There was fentanyl in both his bloodstream and his stomach. There was quetiapine and alcohol only in his stomach. That's a huge point. The quetiapine had to be taken before the fentanyl. Had they been taken together, they'd both be in his blood.
No, it had to be taken after because it wasn't in his blood.
It was in his stomach.
Right, but not his blood. So it was taken after is the point.
You're right. Sorry. After. That's what I meant. A really good point she made here is if he'd had, this was again, I was like, okay.
I just want to this is what the defense's slides looked like. It was literally like a list.
No, but that I thought you were going to show the one that was like the get out of jail free card.
Oh, hold on.
Or like the one.
Oh, they're all bad.
Like the Norman Rockwell one.
How about the one with the statues? The statue is my favorite.
The statue, but that was right in the beginning somewhere.
I know.
because that was so bad. It was I was like, why is she showing that on the screen? Is that a mistake?
It definitely had a mistake vibe for sure.
My first instinct was like, oh shit, somebody just accidentally put up something on the screen they didn't mean to. But nope, it was art. It was
Okay,
art.
look at that. Look at that mug.
Mustache. Look at that mustache
Oh
behind
my
him.
God, this is amazing. That isn't
Yeah.
amazing. Like, that's a kick-ass mustache. That takes grooming. That dude has to get up. You know how I have to get up early in the morning to like curl my ends under? That dude has to get up early in the morning to like. There we go. Here we go.
Oh, you just passed it.
I know I did. I know I did. There we go.
Oh.
There we go. Hold on.
Okay. Let's just play it.
Hold on. Turn the volume on.
Go ahead and put it on.
Go ahead and put it on screen.
That the state looks at facts one way and sees a witch. But if you look at those facts another way, you see a widow. Here's
a witch or a widow.
Hands over her face.
This is incredible.
Oh God, this is
What's
awful.
coming next is incredible.
A witch.
So bad.
Hiding because she's done something wrong.
It's already on the screen. They're already looking at it. I'm so embarrassed.
Hiding and blocking out what is just.
This is some secondhand cringe right here.
Just happened to her children. Just happened to her family and to her life.
Oh no! Don't do it. This is a mistake. Don't do it.
Oh, she's gonna do
it. No, I can't. I have to look
away.
Do it. Look away. Look away.
I'm gonna make you look at this forever.
Oh,
forever.
Oh God, it's
so
bad.
This should be merch at our store.
Well, it
just
should
like
actually
do this on a tote bag and call it widow or witch.
Oh my God, the grieving mother.
This was. Tell me this wasn't made by somebody's niece or nephew.
I don't think it was. I think it was made by somebody who's a Luddite. I think it's made by like one of the older women. So it's either Nestor or Lewis.
Lewis, like, I have an idea. I have an idea. I'm going to take some pictures from the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler and make them a slide. That's what I'm going to do.
You want to come over and see my art? I got
Karen,
some artwork, Karen.
Karen, is this here, grieving or avoidance?
Let me show you a slide, Karen. Here's some grieving ladies.
It's the hot, slide. Right? The hot.
They're hot. They're hot when they cry, I think.
I think the one that's looking down in the middle is kind of hot. She's got a bod on her
leg. Okay.
The one that needs to smile more. She needs to smile more, Karen.
Okay, so here we go. Here is a big point in my book. If
we're gonna get canceled so hard.
No, we're not. If Eric had an allergic reaction to fentanyl on February 14th, and he had taken the EpiPen, he would have also had an allergic reaction to fentanyl the night he died. And he did not.
Yes, but it has not been proven that he had an allergic reaction. We just said that it sounded like an allergic reaction.
Right.
So,
but he didn't have the same symptoms.
Agreed.
He didn't break out in hives.
The fact that this attempted, okay, it's one thing I will say I would be 100% not guilty on is the stupid attempted murder sandwich thing. Because they're literally just charging her with it because somebody said something. It's so fucking stupid. Did we have a witness who sold her the sandwich? Did we have a picture of the sandwich?
Yeah, we had the owner of the diner.
I know.
Who was like, yeah, there was like an egg and there was lettuce and there was tomato and it was on a wrap and then the eggs are over hard. And then some feta because it was the Greek, whatever.
Was he from Canton?
No. It's Piggy's new job.
Oh dear God. But I don't think he had fentanyl in that sandwich. I think he was allergic to something in the fucking sandwich.
I fucking agree.
Since when does someone have an allergic? Since when is somebody like, oh, I'm getting hives from all this fentanyl?
Oh shit! All this.
No,
fentanyl.
You get hives from a goddamn strawberry. If you're allergic to strawberries, you get a hive from shellfish.
You see, like one of the people with like the fent. What is it called? The fent droop. The fent faint. The fent. What? My kids say it. Fent. I don't know. You know how they just like hang over or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then you're like, or walking by a dude who's like, high on fentanyl, and then you're like, shit, I think that guy's got hives too.
Yeah.
Somebody better get him an EpiPen. I mean, it's just fucking Fentfold. Thank you. Fentfold.
Okay, so the backstory with the duck and the headphones and the Venmo that Mary's asking about, we use a platform called StreamYard. That's their logo. When you generate a QR code with them, they put their own logo on your shit. Isn't that great? We're
bullshit.
basically promoting their platform right now. I mean, we could make
And-
our own and just put a big picture of us in it, but the duck is the duck, you know.
The duck is the duck.
It's called the Fenty Fold. Sav is correct. Hi, Sav.
Yeah, Fent fold. Hi, Sav. Or a Fent lean, Jess says. Okay. Here's another big point. You ready?
Yeah.
The state toxicologist who testified in court said that the fentanyl in his system might have been left over from a previous use.
Yes.
Reasonable fucking doubt. And then Lewis says this, and I don't know if this is true or not, so don't get me started.
Go ahead and make your case. We're gonna just go ahead and use this amazing visual
Oh,
while you're
fuck.
making this case for her.
Oh my God. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to put my face on theirs if she is found guilty. We know that the fentanyl wasn't put in the drink because fentanyl was in his blood/stomach, while the alcohol was only in his stomach.
Correct.
Eric may have taken the fentanyl, then the quetiapine.
Oh, like you mean the anxiety med or whatever it was?
Yeah. So the quetiapine, that's what it is. Eric may have taken the fentanyl, then the quetiapine, then the alcohol. If alcohol and fentanyl were taken together, they would have been in his bloodstream. Alcohol only takes 10 to 15 minutes, I think it is, to show up in your bloodstream.
Yes.
And so the DA is like throwing around a lot of theories here, but they would have both been in the blood if he had taken the fentanyl and the drink at the same time.
I actually thought that was quite compelling.
Very compelling. The medical examiner's office did not amend the autopsy, though they could have. Why didn't they do a hair follicle test? That would have told us a lot more about a lot of things. But
why
also,
didn't they do a urine test? For fuck's sake.
Why didn't they do a urine test to find out about the THC? Which
I'm really tired of now that I know they didn't do a urine test. I'm really tired of people screaming in our comments. But there was no THC.
There was no THC. Well, we don't know because
we don't know. They didn't do a urine test. Yeah. Exactly. We actually don't know that. That's not known.
Let's see. Law enforcement didn't ask for the hair follicle or the urinalysis to confirm their theory, their confirmation bias. They didn't want to look for evidence outside of the theory they already had. That, and we're seeing that a lot. That was Michael Proctor's whole shtick. I'm not going to look anywhere but Karen.
Exactly.
Karen.
I'm
not going to look at anyone but Karen.
Karen.
And then we moved into Carmen, which Carmen, I thought she actually made some headway here because Lewis took a lot of shit for how she crossed Carmen because she brought up her learning disabilities and things like that. And I thought that she did a great job, again, humanizing herself and Kouri to the jury. Carmen said she had no memory of what happened in 2022. She said that. Detectives first put fentanyl in her head, which we know. O'Driscoll, you're getting this big. Oh, do you have the get out of jail free card? That slide?
Oh, no. Hold on.
You don't even have to pull up the actual court. You can just pull up the actual card because that's what they used. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Hold on. I'll look for it.
Let's see. They said you're getting a big jail get out of jail free card as long as you ensure that Kouri Richins gets convicted of murder. And this is what they put on the screen while she was saying this to the jury.
I'll be right there. I got it. Hold on.
I know. I can see it. I can see what you're doing.
I have a better version of it.
Okay. Let's see.
By the way, you know those statues in those pictures? Mm-hmm. They make doorstops out of those statues or bookends.
This is what they put on the screen. This was their slide.
So creative.
So creative.
So they were literally
creative.
Preparing for this closing, and they were like, "All right, I have an idea. Stay with me."
And I just want to remind you that while this slide is on the screen and she's going through all the things that O'Driscoll should have done and all the things that he said to Carmen, this is what his face was doing. Oh wait. You have to stop.
Oh, sorry. Remove. There you go.
He was contemplating his life and his life choices, basically.
He's like, I wish I drank because I'd have one right.
I thought this was a pretty smart moment for Lewis when she was like, listen, they brought up the memes and the House of Cards memes. And she's like, the only House of Cards being held up is O'Driscoll's house of cards is being held up by Carmen. I was like, okay, I'll give that one to you. And she does tell the jury, listen, I wasn't trying to be mean to Carmen when I was asking about, did you freeze again?
Here I
froze again. What the frig? What happened? Okay.
Something's up. Something's up with our. We have Ethernet. It's not Wi-Fi. Something's up with our Ethernet.
Do you know that the only reason I might have to like bounce early is because we're under tornado watch right now. So if anything happens, yeah. So,
I don't mean sweet good. I mean sweet like exciting, dramatic.
I'll let you know. So anyway, House of Cards. Corey's the only thing holding. I mean, Carmen's the only thing holding it up, and she said, I wasn't trying to be mean to her. I was trying to show you all that that the police could take advantage of her because she admits she has a learning disability. And she was like, I was just trying to show that the police could take advantage of this woman. And they did. Go ahead.
How fucking funny would it have been in the rebuttal if Bloodworth was like, she had get out of jail free card, but you know what Kouri wanted? Marvin Gardens, Park Place, Boardwalk, the railroads, the
Rebecca,
utilities.
You're onto something. Wait, tomorrow when he's like, I wanted to amend my rebuttal.
Exactly. You pull out a big stack of Monopoly money and be like, this is what Kouri was all about.
Oh my God, that would have been so funny.
She wanted to play the thimble, but they don't have the thimble anymore. So she was stuck with Mr. Monopoly.
She was stuck with the dog.
The
AKA Josh Grossman. So anyway, she's hammering home confirmation bias. She brings up.
I'm sorry. Can we address this?
Yeah.
Yes, you can get a positive THC in blood. Of course you can, but THC only lasts for like a day or two in blood. It can be 12 hours to 48 hours. It lasts for fucking ever in your urine.
Forever.
So when I'm sorry, this isn't about you, T-Roll. You seem super nice. I'm tired of people saying in the comments that she had to be lying about him taking gummies because there was no THC in his test. Maybe he took gummies.
You froze again. We will come back to her thoughts on that. She will be back in a moment. This has been, this is something that we've been talking about a lot, Rebecca and I specifically, because she was like, there's no THC. And then we found out from the toxicology report that there was no urinalysis, which would have told us how much THC he had in his system. And it would have helped either side, I think. I mean, we would have had an answer on it, which would have been really good. The byproducts of fentanyl could be from previous use, not the fentanyl itself. Oh, where'd you go? What are you doing? Are you on your phone?
Yeah, because.
Okay.
Hold on. I know you got to bounce because of your tornado, but.
No, I'm good. We're not having a tornado yet.
All right. I'm just going to lean back, hold my phone up like a teenager. Yeah.
You anyway, finish your thought.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Oh, I was still contemplating the judicial use of Monopoly props.
No, you were talking about the THC in the urinalysis.
Oh, what you probably missed was me telling that listener, thank you for watching the show. I love you so much. After I sort of said a bunch of shitty things about how they were wrong. I didn't mean them. I just meant the general commenting that him not having THC in his blood meant he had never done gummies. Not true.
Got it. Okay, so moving on to
fucking got it. Now shut up so I can move on. There's a tornado coming, Rebecca.
They move on to Crozier, and the first thing she says is the first interview that the police did with him was a 13-minute long interview. He was coming off of drugs. He was like coming down while they were having this interview. He said when he was using, he always told people what they wanted to hear, including the cops. So when they were like, you sold fentanyl, he's like, yeah, I did. Then when he got clean, he went to rehab and he recanted his whole testimony. One of the strongest things I found in this part was that when he recanted, he didn't go to Kouri's defense lawyers. He went to the DA and he said, I am recanting. I got it wrong before. And he did that before he ever even met the defense team. And he did sign an affidavit and say all that to the defense as well. But he went to Bloodworth and he said, I'm recanting this, which I thought was pretty strong. He also said he didn't start selling fentanyl until late 2022. And Carmen got the fentanyl from him, supposedly, allegedly, in early 2022. Or she got the fentanyl.
Again, she may not have thought she was buying fentanyl.
You're Absolutely right. And he may not have known there was fentanyl in it either.
Correct.
So-
Because a lot of oxy pills are stuffed with fentanyl.
The thing about the reason why I take Crozier's testimony more than I accept Carmen's is because he literally didn't know any of these people. He was just a drug dealer. And I think it's really, he was
just a drug dealer.
He was just
He was
giving the
just-
people what he wanted. Just giving the people
He
what
was
he
just
wanted.
dealing
what
them
they
out
wanted.
like Monopoly Man deals out properties on the greens and the purples and the blues. Connecticut Avenue,
Okay.
Vermont Avenue.
Here's another really good slide they had to make up for the bad ones.
Show me.
Why what I don't have it. Why wasn't the hydro bottle tested, and where is it? They had a picture.
I don't know where it is. Why did she keep asking me? I don't know.
They had a picture of the hydro bottle. They zoomed in on it and she said they could have tested it. Look at all that residue. And in the bottom of the bottle, it was just all powder. All powder in the bottom of the bottle. What a great slide. What a great slide.
Why was the bottle on Kouri's side of the bed?
It sounds like there's some debate about that.
No, there's not in the pictures.
It's in the pictures. You're absolutely right. But there was, I don't know if she wrote it in her book or if it was in a report. Somebody had said it was on Eric's side, but then it was on Kouri's side. I don't know, but Lewis was positing, could he have brought drugs back from Mexico in a hydro bottle to get it past?
Now is when you would put up the Speedy Gonzalez picture. That's it.
And can we please talk about
and for those who are just joining, I'm not being racist. I'm talking about the ineptitude of some of these closing arguments and the stupid fucking pictures they showed whenever they would say something.
Disclaimer. Rebecca is not racist.
Well, I don't.
But she is a homophobe.
Purpose.
She's a huge homophobe.
I'm not
so
racist on purpose. Everybody has their biases, but internal biases.
If you are gay, don't come in here. Rebecca's a huge homophobe.
No. I will accuse you of trying to turn me because I assume rightfully that every lesbian wants me.
Right.
Just like those homophobic men assume that they're not safe in front of a gay.
Yeah.
I don't fucking want
your ass.
Don't
wear your tight jeans. Don't wear your skinny jeans in front of those gay guys. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Okay, let's talk about the naltrexone.
Yes.
I think it's a huge point. I think the other side also thinks it's a pretty huge point.
Why do you think it's a huge point? Explain it to me because I don't.
Sure. So he had a prescription for naltrexone. Naltrexone, among other things, but usually is used to stop cravings for drugs and alcohol. Like I know people who
that's one of its uses. Yes.
It's one of the main uses. And I actually asked my biotech partner to talk to me about naltrexone. And she said it is more often than not used to stop cravings for drug and alcohol.
Correct. It was very heavily prescribed during the pandemic when people were using too much alcohol.
But he was not taking naltrexone at the time. He had a prescription for it. He decided not to take it for some reason. Which,
by the way, that is the on-label use. That is the on-label use for it.
Yes.
The on-label use is for that, and then it's used for other things too. But it reduces cravings for substances. It's used for to treat opioid addiction and alcohol addiction.
So if he's not,
and also when you start taking it, it makes you nauseous as fuck.
It sure does. It also, I can't remember if it makes you drowsy or not, but anyway, if he's not taking it, theory, if he's taking naltrexone to stop drug cravings, like pain pills, like Red Devils, like fentanyl, like oxy, like whatever else he was taking, because I don't think it really works on like weed. But if he was doing that to stop taking those drugs and then he stopped taking the naltrexone, he would want to start taking drugs again. And that's the theory. So like at the time, he was not taking the naltrexone, which means he might have been trying to get drugs. So
okay, so naltrexone's off-label uses are to manage chronic pain, inflammation, and autoimmune diseases. Lyme disease is an autoimmune disease.
It is, yes.
So it's
not the thing that they normally
it's not.
Administer or prescribe for Lyme disease.
By the way, if you want to know more about Lyme disease, listen to an excellent podcast called Patient Zero, produced by New Hampshire Public Radio. It's fucking great.
There really wasn't much to talk about with Josh Grossman, other than he knew she wasn't, he says it was a fantasy that she was going to leave Eric for him. He knew that that wasn't real. Yes, they were having an affair, but so was Eric, and maybe more than one. They were also.
I was like, tell me everything about that. I want to know everything about that.
Me too.
Not my business, but I'm so curious.
They were also, yes, they may have been joking, but they were discussing having an open relationship, or he was discussing it. And I thought she did a good job to say that, you know, again, remind the jury, Eric Richens is not a bad person. We are not trying to tarnish his memory. All of these things are important for us to prove reasonable doubt in this case. And I think they did it.
I think that's totally right.
And then also after Eric died, Kouri didn't get together with Josh. It started to dwindle. He said she was changed. She was grieving, and that she eventually cut it off.
And she was like, he's a loser who's been freeloading on living in my house for free.
He also said that she was surprised by the $1 million life insurance. She didn't know she was getting that.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. The gifts, we went over the gifts for a second. They made the same point they made the other day, which is that the gifts were accessed on her phone at 8-something in the morning after, or the morning Eric died. But they were also accessed at the exact second that pictures of the Midway mansion were also accessed. And then, so their theory is that they were connected to that picture and celebration, because it was like all celebration gifts or whatever. I do find it hard to believe that somebody would, 5 hours after their husband is dead, start sending out memes being like, oh, he's dead. I'm going to wipe away my tears with money. I mean, it's so stupid. That's so stupid.
Again, though, I do not get a lot of signals about her planning capabilities and high intelligence. But I agree with you. That's probably a reasonable explanation for that.
Yeah, and then I thought,
how come, I have a question for you, because I didn't watch the whole trial.
Go ahead. Yeah.
How come they couldn't get more shit off her phone? Because they're like, she deleted it, so we couldn't get it. What are you talking about? You can
not only that. Well, some of it, she did some sort of a factory reset, and she did whatever she did a good job, and they couldn't get off of her phone. But they could have gotten a lot off of Eric's phone. The thing is, they should have brought in, if they had evidence of everything that was going on. Like, okay, for instance, here's something I was like, why are we not seeing this? If they wanted to talk about the financial problems they were having in their marriage and the affairs, and Kouri, forging his name, and him having anger issues, all of that stuff would be in text messages, all of it. Mm-hmm. And they have Eric's phone. So why aren't we seeing that? If we're not seeing it, it's because the prosecution doesn't think it's good enough evidence for their case.
Either that, or in pretrial hearings, they successfully got it precluded from the trial. That could have happened.
That may have been the case. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know. I'm sure somebody in the chat knows that answer, because a lot of people watch EDB, and she's been following this case and knows everything about it. So we started to wrap it up after the gifts, and I did think that Lewis had another really good human moment. And I want to play it. I don't want to summarize it, because I thought it was
show it to me.
Really good.
I love when you do them. I love when you throw out the media. And if it doesn't include Speedy Gonzalez, I'm going to be very disappointed.
It doesn't include Speedy Gonzalez, but it does include Deputy Dog.
Hell yeah.
Ready? Okay, so this is basically how she closed. I thought it was great.
Count 4 alleges that Kouri.
There's her slide.
And all I
fucking fat
once I sit down is one
slide.
Yeah.
Her slides.
Oh no.
Sad.
What the fuck? Sorry, hold on. I lost it. Oh my God, we're still on verdict. They're still there.
Yeah.
How did I lose it?
It's only 4:30 there.
How did I lose it this far?
I don't know. You know what the issue is with the shirt? Since we're taking a break here for a second.
Oh yeah.
The collar is so damn big.
You sign here for $100,000.
Yeah, but also it's like weird print and everything.
It's just Arial. It's just basic. It's like the default font.
Yeah.
Count 3 is directly connected
see
to
if I can
count
get
5.
this through a
Because this
little
count
bit
alleges
faster.
that Kouri fraudulently obtained that insurance policy.
Make it Times New
Fraud's
Roman,
forging error signature.
14-point font.
They said there was a reversed social security number on there, but the fraud's the signature. So if the state hasn't proven count 5, it automatically follows they haven't proven count 3. And
I
thus
agree
they're
with this
not guilty on count
audience
3.
member. I bet they come back tomorrow. I think they're going to come back
Count
tomorrow as
4
well.
Yeah, I
says
think so
that
too.
alleges that Kouri fraudulently collected the true stage insurance policy. All that means is if she did kill her husband and then represented something different to collect that insurance, that would be fraud. But if you find Kouri Richins not guilty on count 1, you have to find her not guilty on count 4. The state has not proven their case. They don't have the evidence that Kouri Richins killed her husband. So instead, they have tried to show you as much evidence as they possibly can to convince you that she's the sort of person who would. Getting close to the end. I'm sure you would like me to stop talking. But I have to tell you, I'm afraid to stop talking.
This is good.
Because as I stand here right now, Kouri Richins is still cloaked in a presumption of innocence. I don't ever want to walk back to that table. As a defense attorney, that is one of the longest walks a lawyer can make. This entire case is going to flash before my eyes. And all I will be able to think about once I sit down is, what did I miss? What did we miss? What didn't we tell you that you wanted to hear? Did I focus on what you wanted to know? Did we do enough? You're about to go through those doors and into the jury room and start deliberations. Everyone in this courtroom, everyone watching around the world, we all wish we could follow you and listen in. But that room, that jury room is yours. It's sacrosanct. In that room, you get to decide. And when you get in that room and you look at the evidence, if you think that Kouri Richins might have killed her husband, that she likely killed her husband, that she probably killed her husband, you must find her not guilty. Because maybe, probably, likely, very likely, none of these reach that extraordinary burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things when you go into that room. First, you might be tempted to go around the room and take a vote for guilty or not guilty to see where you all stand. We ask you to refrain from this. Instead, we ask...
Anyway, that's the moment I was talking about. But I don't know. I think she started her arguments with a human moment, talking about how she lost her husband. And then she ended it with another human moment being like, we are human beings here. And I am trying to do my job. And once I walk away, I don't have any other options to do my job. And it's in your hands. I thought that was good, in my opinion.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to find her guilty. I mean, if I was a betting person, which I actually am, if I was a tacky person who bet on the outcomes of trials, which I do not, I would put money on them convicting her of aggravated murder. I would be so pissed, though, if they convict her of that attempted murder, though. Because that is the thinnest shit I have ever seen. I heard a rumor that he ate a sandwich and, oh, what are you talking about? What do you mean too emotional?
I want to know what you mean, K-Swan, when you say Lewis is too emotional.
What are you talking about? If a man got up there and were like, my client fiery or whatever, would you be calling that too emotional? I don't think so. I don't want to come down on you, K-Swan. You're probably a very nice person because you're listening to our podcast. But what the fuck do you mean by that? Not to come out of your ear, you bitch.
Since Kouri, TC
that was a
Nerd
callback,
said,
by the way. I wasn't saying that. That was a callback to a tweet somebody sent me.
TC Nerd said, since Kouri is a lying liar who lies, I want to trace all facts to someone other than her or who she may have told. Yeah, I get that. Totally.
Yes, but this is literally what every defense attorney and every prosecutor does. This is no different than the prosecutor saying, look at her sitting over there. How can she feel that way? How can she look that way?
Can I just make one point about this? I'm sorry that it bothers me that is your interpretation, because anyone who would use their own spouse's death and having to take care of your sons as a single mother and a working mother, to think that anyone would use that to sway a jury and that she doesn't actually feel that way, I have a hard time with that.
I don't think he's saying or she's saying she doesn't actually feel that way. I think they're saying that they don't approve of her using it in the argument to sway the jury. But this is literally, show me a defense attorney that doesn't use emotions to try to sway the jury in their closing argument.
And if I'm on
Show
a
me one.
jury, I want one of the attorneys to act like a human being, not like I'm spitting out facts and
But
I'm being
that's not what
scientific.
case one wants. And this is what's so great about juries. Case one is
Mhm.
not you, and case one wouldn't like that apparently, which is
Yep.
fine.
That's
We have
totally
to
fine.
remember that some of the jury members may feel the same way.
That's true.
But I do think that using emotion to manipulate the jury is literally what every defense attorney does.
And the prosecution used it too. The prosecution used emotion. He happens to be a man, so maybe it came off differently. But
no, he happens to be an automaton who speaks like he's like reading an audiobook about sleep.
Oh, come here.
Oh. All right, so
Ruby.
I have to go in a bit, but I just want to mention that folks should go online and read Karen Reed's 54-page amended motion.
Yes.
In her Reed versus Everybody lawsuit. It is, I'm sorry very much, case one. By the way, case one, I wasn't coming down on you at all. So the 54-page motion is essentially like when I used to tell people to read the two-part Vanity Fair article about Karen Reed.
Yeah.
It's basically a layout of the case as Karen Reed sees it. And a lot of it is backed up with really good evidence and very strong statements. And it is worth a read. It's quite juicy.
And pay attention to the Jennifer McCabe pots.
Jennifer McCabe.
There's some extra stuff in there about Jen McCabe.
It's McCabean is what it is.
It is McCabean. It's quite McCabean. We'll talk about it maybe on the next episode. So just to remind everybody, you're going to be on Wednesday with Jimmy at around 12. Is that right?
Ish. Yes.
12-ish.
Yes.
And then we will both be here at 9 a.m. on Thursday for our regular stream.
Yes.
And then we'll be bouncing over to Emily C's channel at 10 a.m. on Thursday. And depending on what happens, because we're on jury watch right now, we might be back tomorrow. I'm not really sure, but we will let you guys know. And hopefully if there is a verdict, we'll be able to jump back on and see what's happening. And I don't really want to place bets or, do polls or anything like this. I am really just concerned about constitutional rights. And I hope that the jury does deliberate and they do talk it out. Even if they walk in and they're all on the same page already, I do hope they talk it out a little bit.
They're 100% going to take a poll. That's what almost every jury does. Because the whole thing is, even if they weren't going to, she just planted the idea for them to do that. That's why I think it's always a mistake for defense attorneys to say that, because
somebody
it's like incepting this idea.
Oh, you're not watching it.
No.
Sorry. I have up on my big screen that somebody just popped into the court stream.
Let me take a look.
Maybe it was
Let me take a look at my East Idaho news.
It's
minute-to-minute
there.
Coverage. Oh, they might just be checking on them. They might be checking
I just saw
on them
someone's
to see if they
head
want to
pop
stay or
in.
go.
All right. I will keep an eye on this. If something happens tonight, I guess I don't expect it to, but if something happens tonight, one or both of us will jump on, but I think you have something going on and there's a tornado happening here apparently.
Yeah. If the verdict happens, it will keep.
On the jury, Amanda says apparently one of the women is a lawyer.
That's the best thing that could happen to her.
That changes a lot of things. Abso-friggin-lutely it does. Yep. That's great. That's great news for Kouri. And again, I just want to stay for the record. I'm not saying Kouri Richins is innocent. I don't like Kouri Richins. I don't think I would ever be friends with her. First of all, I wouldn't be friends with anybody who doesn't believe in COVID or vaccines. I'm not trying to be Kouri Richins' friend. I am not trying to sleep with Kouri Richins. I'm not trying to be her prison pen pal.
You're not?
No, I'm not. As contrary to popular belief, not all lesbians like all women all the time. What I'm trying to say is I do believe that Kouri Richins, and this should actually tell you guys everything you need to know, that I don't like Kouri Richins as a human being, and I'm not even sure she's innocent, but I want to make sure that her constitutional rights are protected and that she gets a fair trial, which I'm not saying this is not a fair trial, so don't say I'm not saying that I'm saying that. I just want to make sure that if there is reasonable doubt, that is what our standard is. That's it.
Correct. I agree with everything you said. I know that I said that before. Mel, you're a lesbian. Yes.
Yeah. Debbie
Can't
Joe
believe it.
says, wait, Mel, you're a lesbian? Yep, here I
Really?
am coming out. I come out every day. Here I am. I'm here. I'm queer.
Trying to
Get
turn me
used to it.
every single day.
Here, queer, get used to it. Yes. And KR has constitutional rights, just like every single one of us. Okay, I know you have to leave, Rebecca, and so do I, because I need to go make dinner. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks for the tips. I will be putting out the promo codes for our merch store for members and for non-members alike. And catch Rebecca on Wednesday, Ani Deb. Catch both of us on Thursday at 10 a.m. on Emily C's channel. And we will be on Verdict Watch until then, and we will let you know what we hear.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mel.
Thanks, Rebecca. All right. See you guys later.